In this video, I'm going to share 5 favorite streets in East Cambridge. Stay tuned. East Cambridge is one of the 13 named neighborhoods that make up Cambridge, Massachusetts, and it's bordered by Somerville to the north, the Charles River to the east, Broadway to the south, and the Grand Junction Railroad tracks to the west that separates East Cambridge from the neighborhood of Wellington Harrington. And East Cambridge is a neighborhood that's mainly residential. And here are 5 favorite streets of mine in East Cambridge. So number 5 on the list is Cambridge Street. Cambridge Street is the main street, the main drag, the main commercial thoroughfare, if you will, for the neighborhood of East Cambridge. And it actually, as a street, starts in Inman Square and the neighboring adjacent neighborhood of Wellington Harrington, and then continues right through East Cambridge, all the way essentially to the Charles River and beyond to Boston. But Cambridge Street in East Cambridge, as the main thoroughfare, is home to a number of local shops and services, one-of-a-kind destinations, and it has a real nice vibe as a commercial center. So restaurants in East Cambridge on Cambridge Street include Loyal 9, right on the railroad tracks. It's a foodie destination. Once upon a time, it had a cafe as well. They've rolled that into the restaurant itself. And it's as I said, a foodie destination. There's also the Lone Star Taco Bar on Cambridge Street, and they've added outdoor seating. And in season, that's a nice place to sit for a casual meal. There is as well Curio Coffee, which is a wonderful place to go for a homemade waffle, Belgian waffle, and a hot cup of coffee. Love going into Curio for that treat, and it's found on Cambridge Street. New to the street in the last couple of years is the Elmendorf Bakery, which serves up pastries and is a nice place for lunch and a nice addition to the Cambridge Street equation. There are a couple of fresh seafood shops as well, including Courthouse Seafood, and many people will find their way to New Deal or Courthouse for fresh seafood. In addition to the various restaurants and shops on Cambridge Street, there is the Middlesex Registry of Deeds. This massive brick building with pillars is situated between 2nd and 3rd Street. And as a real estate agent, I have attended many a closing at this address. Closings, for the most part now, are happening remotely. And so the tradition of gathering together for a closing here is something more in the past than the present. But there are still people coming and going each and every day for the purposes of recording documents at the Registry of Deeds. Cambridge Street has an active pulse pretty much all day, with buses and pedestrians and bicycles, all making good use of Cambridge Street as they pass through East Cambridge. And so it really is a great street in East Cambridge. Number 4 on my list is a residential street, Otis Street, and it spans essentially the entire neighborhood, moving from Fulkerson Street all the way to 3rd Street. And it's just such a great residential street. Variety of architectural styles, various brick buildings, some large, some small, and wood frame structures, lots of great entrances, and it's just such a great street. There is a pocket park called Silva Park at the corner of Otis and Sharapa that features play areas, including swings, and it's just such a nice, well-maintained city park. And then interrupting Otis Street, if you will, at 3rd Street, between 3rd and 2nd, is Centenny Park, which is just a beautiful green space behind the courthouse and Registry of Deeds. And it's well maintained, has nice sitting areas, some sculpture it's just such a beautiful green space, very pleasant to walk through and to be in. So Otis Street is a great example of a city street. Number 3 on my list is 3rd Street. And 3rd Street runs north to south across the entire neighborhood, beginning at Route 28, otherwise known as Monsignor O'Brien Highway, and crossing Cambridge Street and continuing all the way down to Broadway and the Kendall Square area. And as you first find your way on 3rd Street near Cambridge and heading towards Otis, you're near the Middlesex County Courthouse, a building designed by Charles Bulfinch in the 1800s. And there are a number of buildings around it that serve attorneys and law offices, given that this is where the Registry of Deeds is. It's natural that there would be additional offices that grew up around it, and the courthouse as well. So it's a beautiful building, and it's part and parcel of a complex of well-maintained older buildings that give this area a really nice feeling. Also, this block between 3rd Street and Otis, across from it on the opposite side, is known as Quality Row. It's a collection of handsome townhouses that date from 1860, and it's a very nice block with a handsome street facade. As you continue down 3rd Street, what looms up is the Edward J. Sullivan Courthouse building that was built between 1968 and 74. It's 22 stories. It's massive. It takes up a full city block, and how it ever got built, no one knows. It's been controversial right from the get, and the decision was made recently to approve it being renovated, so it will continue to stand. A group of people in the neighborhood fought it and had hoped it might be demolished, but it still stands. And although it's no longer a courthouse, it will be reinvented as this renovation underway continues as primarily commercial office space. There are a couple of restaurants as well as you move down 3rd Street, including Desfina at the corner of Charles Street and 3rd Street, which is a casual Greek taverna, and they've added outdoor seating, which makes it very inviting in the summer. And just beyond it, as you approach Rogers Street at the intersection of 3rd Street and Rogers, is a new city park that's being constructed. And it's massive. It extends from 3rd Street all the way down a full city block. And I think of it as the Rogers Street Park, which is the name of the street that borders it on one side. So we'll see in the end what they end up calling it. But it's nice to see the city committing to creating a very large city park. As you cross Binney Street on 3rd Street, you're entering into essentially the heart of the Kendall Square area. And here we have a collection of restaurants, shops, and services, including Tate's 3rd Street location just beyond Binney, which is very popular with both indoor and outdoor seating. And then there's a collection of restaurants along Broad Canal Way off 3rd Street, and much of this area is under renovation. At the end of Broad Canal Way is the Charles River Canoe and Kayak launch for people getting out on the water, which is nice. And then 3rd Street ends at Broadway, where there's now a Brothers Marketplace. So it's nice that the neighborhood is served by a supermarket. And there is a plan in place on 3rd Street to construct a new art center known as 585 Arts. And it's aiming to open in 2025. It'll feature a public space and arts theater at the base of an office and lab tower right in the heart of this Kendall Square, Broad Canal Way area on 3rd Street. So it's exciting to see that that is in the works. That area has been awaiting that plan, and it's finalized now. And so it's just a matter of time before it comes to fruition. So that's 3rd Street. It's, as I said, ending near Broadway and Kendall Square. So it it crosses right through the neighborhood, and it's part of this emerging Kendall Square area. Number 2 on my list is another residential side street known as Hurley Street, and it starts around 6th Street and passes across the neighborhood and ends at 1st Street. And it features a couple of really lovely green spaces. The first is Hurley Park between 5th and Sharapa on Hurley Street, and it features a community garden as well as sitting areas. It's very well maintained. And additionally, a second green space found on Hurley Street is Anthony Costa Park, which is located between 3rd and Lopez. And it's a larger green space with a big community garden and some play areas and sitting areas. So again, hats off to the city in maintaining these city parks on Hurley, which otherwise features some lovely residential real estate and makes for a nice feeling, just like Otis. So there's a lot of streets like this that make up East Cambridge, and I could have featured any of a number, but I chose these 2 in particular because I like them and like the green spaces found along them. And number 1 on my list for 5 favorite streets in East Cambridge is Cambridge Parkway. And this is found along the Charles River between Leechmere Canal and Broad Canal. And it's a quiet street, and it's actually a street that has a bike path and walking path running alongside it along the water's edge. And I think actually there are more people walking and riding their bicycle along the parkway than there are cars. So the other side of Cambridge Parkway is Land Boulevard, which is where all the automobile traffic is found. But Cambridge Parkway is facing the river, and it's a very quiet, tucked away street. And on one end, you have the Royal Sonesta Hotel with rooms with views onto the Charles and beyond to Boston. And anchoring the Royal Sonesta is Art Bar, which is a wonderful place to go for a drink, especially in the summer months, because they have a large outdoor seating area. And you're looking onto the Charles and beyond to Boston. And right there is the Charles Gate Yacht Club, where boats are moored. And it just has such a great feeling. It's just so nice to be on the water, and then to be on the water tucked away on this street at the Art Bar on a summer night, looking out at the boats at the Charles Gate Yacht Club. It's just so wonderful. And to walk along the footpath here is great. There's a big green space. It's Front Park adjacent to Charles Park that make up this green space along Cambridge Parkway. And it gets a lot of use from local residents. And it sits next to the Esplanade, one of the concierge elevator buildings in East Cambridge. And residents of the Esplanade at 75-83 Cambridge Parkway have the luxury of an entrance right onto Cambridge Parkway, putting them right at the foot of the Charles River with views onto the city. And it's just such a lovely equation. Obviously, residents of the Esplanade have views from their residence onto the river and the city skyline. So absolutely love Cambridge Parkway as a tucked away water's edge street that really brings East Cambridge to the Charles River. And it's just such a nice place. And again, Art Bar is a destination not to be missed in season if you'd like to be down on the water and just feel like, you know, you're not in the heart of the city, but you're almost in a place apart on the water's edge. So there you have it. Those are 5 favorite streets in East Cambridge. And as a top residential real estate agent, I'm in East Cambridge each and every day, and I welcome the opportunity to share more with you about the neighborhood and the other neighborhoods of Cambridge and neighboring Somerville. Reach out at any time by text, telephone, or email if I can be of assistance to you as you give thought to buying the right home or selling for the best price, or just have questions about the market, your home, and the community. Again, my name is Charles Cherney, and I look forward to reaching you and learning more about how I can be of service to you as you give thought to East Cambridge and other neighborhoods nearby. Take care.